It would, but getting back to lead time and having, I think it works better for miniseries. I don't think it works as well for a monthly comic. Because the thing with monthly comics that I think a lot of people don't understand is that decisions are being made hourly. Not even daily, hourly. Things are changing constantly because, again, artists screw up, writers, screw up. Shipping dates change because, your big summer crossover is taking too long to be finished,
Or everybody gets the surprise ending 5 issues early.
Yeah, exactly.
We can talk about that later. Things can change in that, like, if I stuck to my plans for, back when I was doing Avengers The Initiative, we had a really great sequence with Jan and Hank when he comes off of the Skrull ship. Because Jan wasn't going to die originally in Secret Invasion back in the earliest planning stages. And then suddenly the script showed up. And Bendis found the sequence. I think he did a great job with it. And Jan has this big heroic death. And then it's like, wow, if I had gotten that done ahead of time, we would have been screwed. So you constantly have to go with the flow and go with the change, and anything could happen. Do you want to create stories so far ahead that you don't know Obama's president? No. And things happen. Always.
Sean, keep that. I was wondering, especially with Sean and Jamal here, how you work. When you get a script, do you read the whole thing and then sort of draw it in your mind, or do you lay it out on paper? How do you approach? Sean,
well, I probably do it the way you're not supposed to do it. I kind of get lazy. For me, I like the actual drawing of the pages, and the layout stuff is like a lot of brain work, and that really hurts my brain. So I usually on the paper that the plot comes in, I'll probably just do a little thumbnail on the margin, and then 5 minutes later, just dive right into the page. But I do read the whole script all the way through, just so I know, some things have to be set up early on. You really should know what's going to happen. So, but then other than that, I kind of just gotten to the point where I can kind of picture the whole story in my head, like all laid out and all the important moments, and then just dive in. And you it takes so long to actually draw the page that you can actually, whenever you come upon something that you think might be important later on, you can actually work back and forth that way. So I think what you really should do, though, if you're an artist out there, is probably lay out the entire thing, and then probably send it to your editor and discuss it and stuff like that. But for me, I just found that I do as little as I have to, and I've been getting away with doing this one.
So it makes it sound easy, doesn't it?
No, but there's something to be said for that moment of creativity.
Right.
Like sometimes you see someone's layouts, and they're gorgeous. And then when it translates to the actual page, they've gotten more technical and proficient. Some of the organic pow of the first drawing is gone. So that might be a great way to go. That might be what works for you.
Yeah, no, I am definitely a little more methodical than Sean is. What I do is I read the script 2 or 3 times, depending on who's writing it.
Like Alan Moore.
Yeah. And then I do my first round of thumbnails, which are usually about 2x3. They're just really quick. I'll spend an entire day just working on thumbnailing an issue. So it's like a 6-hour stretch usually to thumbnail a 22-page story, because I'm sitting there and thinking about this will be a great shot. How do I fit this in? Somebody's being really verbose. I gotta find a way to squeeze all this dialogue into this tiny little panel. And then after I get those approved, or sometimes, like I was saying before, I don't even bother to get them approved. I just do them. It's more for myself than anybody else. Because if you see my thumbnails, they're chicken scratch. They're really just
they're for your benefit.
Yeah, exactly. But then the next stage is every Monday, depending on how much work I decide I'm going to do that week, I lay out the sequence of pages for the week. So I'll do like 5 or 6 pages of layouts, and then I use a Lightbox. I blow them up. I use a Lightbox. The difference, I think, is you know, for me, I need that roadmap. Like, it doesn't have to be fully fleshed out. Things change from the thumbnail stage to the pencil stage, but I feel like I need some idea, and I think that's the storyboard artist in me, coming back a little bit in that regard, is that I need to know, what the end game is. I can, have a general idea in my head, but it's not until I get to the layout stage that things really get fleshed out. And even then, like, I have gotten to the point where I've done like 3/4 of a finished page, looked at it, and realized that I just spent 6 hours drawing the same panel and it's not working. So I'll trash the page and redo.
Would you just trash the panel and move on to the next page?
No, because it's usually not. If it's a single panel, then that's a completely different thing. It has to come. It has to. For me, it has to come out organically. It has to be.
For the editor, it has to come out.
Well, yeah, that's no, but I take the extra time. Like, I work insane hours.
Who here? Any of you guys not insane hours?
No, but I mean, for me, I work insane hours.
I think that's part of the job, and also part
Unless
of
you're John Buscema.
a lot of the guys who went down to CrossGen and they were tied down to desks and forced to produce a page a day,
right.
And all those guys admittedly came out stronger for it. But I think most of us, you work out of home.
Right.
Writers ask, like guys who want to be writers ask me, like, what's the most important piece of advice you can give me for being a writer, a freelance writer, and working from home. And the advice I always give isn't like read this book or do this thing. It's put on
Pants.
I forget that one sometimes.
In the morning when you wake up, you're in your own home, you're in your own office. Dear God, put on pants. Put on shoes. You'll feel like, I'm working. I'm working now. It doesn't matter how, the panel that doesn't work or this. It doesn't matter how much time you put, or even if you're going in the wrong direction. I heard a really good, I've been doing all these quotes, finding these quotes and things from people who are creative people in the industry and how they get things done. It's very, because I'm work very slow and I'm trying to up my speed. And I heard not the main guy from Pixar, not Lasseter, but his co-founder had a really good statement, which is, if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. Then it's okay. Just keep going, and you'll screw up. But that's part of the process you have to get through.
Right.
Give examples of that. That's going to sound bizarre to someone who's not a creator.
No, you just, if you're taking a wrong track down a story, it's important to go down that wrong track, because that was part of the process. You had to get that bad story beat or that bad thing out of you. And then you go back and you rewrite it. You go, okay, I see what wasn't working here.
But you and I are talking about doing the exact same thing, though.
Just a different form of, but what you were saying, a lot of what you're saying, I knew, I'm not going to say who it was, but a friend of mine who's an artist, we were both starting to get really great, cool offers to work on books, because we just started breaking out together. And, oh man, I'm getting to work on this project. What are you working on now? He's like, oh, they offered me this Alan Moore book over at Wildstorm. I'm like, I'm going to get to work with Alan Moore. And I'm like, have you read the scripts yet? And he's like, no, but it's Alan Moore. It's like the greatest living comic writer. I know you. Read the script before you say yes. And then he calls you back 2 days. He's like, oh my God, this thing is like 80 pages long for a 22 page. Panel 1 is talking about the reflections in raindrops. What the hell? I'm not doing this.